A lot of families and relationships have been broken up over this MAGA cult and this hatefulness that is going on right now. So this woman posted this in the Am I the A-hole subreddit saying, Am I the a-hole for not feeling bad about my Trump supporting family potentially losing SNAP benefits? She says, okay, so first, I am not a Trump voter. I do not support Trump or many of his views, and I don't really find a lot in common with others that seem to agree with him and his policies. I have a full time job. I have a second part time job, and I live in a traditional family setup kids, pets, home, even the white picket fence. My husband works full time, overtime, a lot. Because of how much we work, we obviously see the value in it. Now, the family that I grew up in are all Trump voters. They all think he can do no wrong. They don't think he means it when he says or is rumored of anything negative. Everything is excused or the goalpost is simply moved. They don't like any woke liberal anything and are very anti socialism. Here's where I get confused and very frustrated and annoyed. They don't like to work, and I don't mean physical work. I mean, none of them like the idea of having a job where a boss tells them what they have to do, set them up with the schedule, etc. A lot of under the table handyman work gets done, and my sister in law has literally bragged about not having to give any money to the government. They also live in a rural area where there are no taxes of any kind. Here's the kicker: they love their government funded life. They use SNAP, EBT, they use WIC programs, they use whatever the government will fund them because, in the eyes of the government, they are poor because they don't have real taxable jobs. They are constantly borrowing money from my parents, who are also Trump supporters and don't have a stable job, or they call our other two siblings in the family or other family members for money. They never pay it back. And it's always just because they're in a tight spot right now. Are other Trump voters like this, ones who are just incredibly hypocritical, but depend on the system even more than liberals do? They say they hate the idea of socialism, but love going to the library and public school. Also, they absolutely buy snacks and junk food with their benefits because they have four kids. Part of me feels bad for the people that use those benefits, but the other part doesn't feel bad for them at all. Am I the a hole? This right here, the way she's describing this family, is precisely what I imagine for poor white rural Trump supporters. Like they don't make any money. They're not productive citizens, yet they want all of the benefits. They just don't want those other people to get the benefits, the people that they deem unworthy. That's the reason why when they talk about woke liberal, they're literally just talking about colored folks and the LGBTQ community. That's it. They don't want anybody that they deem othered to get anything, but they want the SNAP. They need all of these benefits, but they deem themselves worthy and everybody else unworthy. And I cannot wait until they get into their full find out season. So this is just one thing that I came across. This woman is just waiting. She's like, oh, I can't wait till they lose all their benefits. And honestly, I can't either. That's the reason why I was drawn to this post. Fortunately for that woman, she doesn't live with her family. This woman does. She says, I feel like I'm losing my husband to the MAGA cult. And you've seen this. Relationships are just breaking up. They've been breaking up ever since the election. I actually did see a Threads post where a divorce lawyer was like, I've never seen this many divorces over politics. But this woman says, I feel like I'm losing my husband to the MAGA cult. My husband and I have been married for a year and a half, together for 8 years. Sounds like it's about to end within two. All right, it says, I always knew that he had a more conservative side, but it didn't feel as aggressive and angry as it feels now. He wasn't even registered to vote when I met him, didn't vote in the 2016 election. It didn't seem like an issue. We used to have calm and rational discussions where we understood each other's perspective and didn't try to change them. But lately, when he starts spewing false MAGA garbage, I try to politely educate him and it turns into a full verbal brawl. I want to say that over the last 6 months to a year, he's gotten aggressively worse. His boss is a MAGA extremist who believes he has convinced his workers, my husband, that the company was only profitable during Trump's first term. Anytime I try to bring up how scared of what's going on, my husband loses it, says I'm being a brainwashed liberal. The use of the word liberal annoys the F out of me. Lately, when we watch movies, anytime a woman does something, he says nasty and degrading things about her. He's so aggressive with his anti-trans stance. I don't know what to do. He is a loving and caring man, but the brainwashing is getting worse and I don't know what to do. Okay. So after she says all of this, at the very, very bottom, after she reads all of this, he is a loving and caring man. To whom? To whom? He's aggressive with you. He like is berating you. You're having verbal brawls. He's degrading towards women in general. But he's caring to who? Like, okay. um, I don't see this one lasting that long. But I do believe that something was poisoned with this whole MAGA strain of republicanism. The toxicity is palpable in how they really are turning the notches up against women. Like they have really poisoned the male brain against women, or it's just exacerbated the feelings that were already there. Smoked Fish Friday says he's a loser and will never, ever, ever change. Do with that information what you will. Young Grease says she can call him loving and caring, but the actions she's citing are not loving and not caring. They're hateful and cruel and bigoted. Mr. Wonder says you are lucky you caught this and are doing something about it. You know what to do, or you wouldn't have posted. Well, here it is. Go get out, prepare, and execute a plan of action to move on. It's going to get worse. He has permission to now be his true self. And that's truly it. How they feel about women is just coming out because it is perfectly fine. Trump made that perfectly fine. And you're seeing all of the vitriol and hatefulness towards women these days. Now we have a woman that's lost the last member of her family. She said, my dad turned, I'm the only one left. She says, my empathetic, loving father, who's 60, has always been sort of a moderate conventional Republican, told me, 36-year-old woman today, that he's sick of liberal snowflake pukes who refuse to work, behaving as social media warriors. He then said, this generation don't even know what gender they are. He sent this stuff in reply to my Snapchat story about Trump using authoritarian language. I've never heard him say things like this. He went full hateful MAGA, just like my mom and brother and extended family. I cried a lot this morning after that bizarre conversation. We've never seen eye to eye politically, but he's always been respectful and taking me seriously when we talk about that stuff. But today he was angry, and it hurt. I don't think he even knew the term transgender a few years ago. I'm not sure why he cares, since the identity of others doesn't affect him at all, or why he's attacking everyone my age, including me, who he repeatedly claims to love, for being weak and worthless. Sucks. I don't have my family anymore after all. I'm sorry, sucks. I don't have my family anymore at all. Just posting here for some solidarity. I know he and the others are a lost cause. And then, like Sylvia says, it's the meanness that gets me. I've only spoken to my dad twice since 2018 because he raged at me due to his fanboy worship of Trump. I'm an only child with no family other than my parents. Trump trumps me, and it's a terrible realization to live with. And then the OP says, this is what got me too. He's never been like that ever, but this is what the cult does. Low or no contact seems to be the only real solution right now. It isn't fair, and you didn't deserve the rejection. And the thing is, what we're seeing right now with all of these people being fired, funds being pulled, all of that is going to cause a lot more people to spiral. And I don't know what's going to happen as I watch the politics and all of the news. Who are people going to lean into? Because even Trump supporters are feeling this, are feeling the layoffs and all of this. So what is going to happen is going to be crazy. Anyways, this is just a few stories that I came across. Join the conversation, like, comment, and share.